My dear sister, before you check your phone, before you rush into the noise of the day, before the world tells you who you need to be, I want you to listen very carefully to this. If you have been feeling tired without knowing why, if you have been doing your best yet still feeling like it is not enough, if you wake up every morning with a heavy heart, carrying expectations, guilt, pressure, or quiet sadness, this message is for you. You are not weak, you are not failing, and Allah has not turned away from you. There are truths Allah wants every woman to remember again and again, because when you forget them, you shrink, and when you remember them, you rise with peace, with dignity, and with strength. So sit with me for a few minutes. Let your heart breathe, let your soul settle, and allow these reminders to realign you with who you truly are in the sight of Allah, because becoming your best self does not begin with doing more. It begins with understanding the truth. Listen, and let Allah restore what life has been quietly draining from you. 1. Your worth was decided by Allah, not by people. My dear sister, one of the most painful traps many women fall into, often without even realizing it, is measuring their value through the behavior of people. You begin to believe you are worthy only when you are treated kindly, chosen openly, spoken to gently, or appreciated consistently. When people are warm, you feel valuable. When they are distant, critical, or dismissive, you begin to question yourself. Slowly, your sense of worth starts rising and falling based on moods, opinions, attention, and approval that were never meant to define you in the first place. But your worth was never meant to sit in human hands. People are unstable by nature. Their emotions change. Their priorities shift. Their understanding is limited. If your value depends on people, your heart will never feel safe. Today they may praise you, and tomorrow they may overlook you. Today they may love you, and tomorrow they may disappoint you. That is not a reflection of your worth, it is a reflection of human weakness. Allah created you with honor long before anyone formed an opinion about you, before anyone saw your face, before anyone commented on your personality, your choices, your past, or your mistakes. Allah honored you the moment He created you. This honor is not conditional. It does not depend on your beauty, your productivity, your relationship status, or how well others treat you. It is a divine decision, not a social one. When people praise you, your worth does not increase. When people ignore you, your worth does not decrease. When someone fails to value you properly, it does not mean you are lacking. It means they are limited in their vision. Allah's declaration of your honor is permanent, steady, and unshakable. Nothing people say or do can cancel what Allah has already written for you. When you truly understand this, something deep begins to heal inside you. You stop chasing validation because you no longer need permission to feel enough. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that require you to be smaller to be accepted. You stop explaining your boundaries to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop begging for love, attention, or respect because you realize you were never created to beg for what Allah already granted you. Instead, you begin to walk differently. Your confidence becomes quiet, not loud. Your strength becomes calm, not defensive. You carry yourself with dignity because you know who you belong to. You know that even if the world turns away, Allah sees you fully. Even if people fail you, Allah never abandons you. Even if you feel unseen, Allah is always aware of you. A woman who knows her worth through Allah does not attach her self-respect to people's behavior. She aligns her heart with Allah, and from that alignment, everything else slowly falls into place. She chooses peace over approval, truth over performance, and self-respect over temporary acceptance. This is where true confidence begins, not in being chosen by people, but in knowing you are already chosen by Allah. 2. Self-improvement begins with purifying the heart. My dear sister, many women believe self-improvement means fixing the outside. First changing habits, appearance, routines, productivity, or social image. While these things may have value, Islam teaches us something far deeper and far more lasting. Real improvement begins inside the heart. Because if the heart is tired, wounded, resentful, or disconnected from Allah, no amount of external success will ever bring true peace. The heart is the center of your emotional and spiritual life. When the heart is clean, connected, and calm, everything else naturally begins to align. But when the heart is neglected, filled with jealousy, resentment, fear, or constant comparison, even good achievements feel empty. This is why Allah focuses so much on the heart. He does not look at your appearance or status. He looks at what lives inside you, your intentions, your sincerity, your trust in Him. Purifying the heart does not mean becoming emotionless or perfect. It means slowly removing what drains your soul and replacing it with what brings you closer to Allah. It means letting go of grudges that keep you heavy, releasing envy that makes you restless, letting go of excessive attachment to people that leaves you anxious and disappointed. Every morning, when you turn to Allah, even briefly, you are washing your heart from the dust of yesterday. Many women carry emotional weight for years without realizing it. Unspoken pain, old disappointments, silent comparisons, unanswered expectations. These things quietly harden the heart and make life feel exhausting. When you begin each day with remembrance, even a few moments of sincere dua or dhikr, your heart starts to soften again. And a soft heart is not a weak heart. It is a strong heart because it trusts Allah. As your heart becomes purer, your reactions change. You become less reactive and more reflective, less defensive and more secure. You stop taking everything personally because your heart is anchored in Allah, not people. You stop needing constant reassurance because your heart already feels held by Him. This is why purification of the heart is not a side task. It is the foundation of becoming your best self. True self-improvement in Islam is not about becoming impressive to the world. It is about becoming sincere with Allah. When your heart is aligned with Him, your growth becomes natural, gentle, and sustainable. You improve without pressure. You grow without losing yourself. And you begin to experience a quiet peace that no external success can replace. 3. You do not need to carry everyone's expectations. My dear sister, one of the quiet reasons many women feel constantly tired, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained is because they are carrying expectations that were never meant to be theirs. You wake up each day already feeling pressure to please, to explain, to perform, to meet standards that change depending on who is watching. Over time, this weight becomes so normal that you forget what it feels like to live with ease. Islam does not ask you to live this way. Allah did not create you to be responsible for everyone's happiness, approval, or comfort. Yet many women internalize the belief that they must be everything for everyone. A good daughter, a perfect wife, a patient mother, a reliable friend, a kind relative, a strong believer, a calm human being always, without rest. When you try to carry all of this at once, your soul becomes exhausted. My dear sister, there's an important difference between responsibility and burden. Allah gives you responsibilities that are within your capacity, but people place burdens on you that Allah never assigned. Expectations come from culture, family pressure, social comparison, and unspoken rules, but they are not all divine obligations. When you confuse people's expectations with Allah's commands, you begin to live in constant tension. You are responsible for your intentions, your effort, and your sincerity toward Allah. You are not responsible for how people interpret your choices. You are not responsible for fixing everyone's emotions. You are not responsible for being understood by those who refuse to listen with fairness. Carrying expectations that are not yours slowly disconnects you from yourself and from Allah. When you wake up in the morning and remind yourself of this truth, something begins to shift. You start choosing wisely where your energy goes. You stop over-explaining your boundaries. You stop feeling guilty for resting. You stop apologizing for being human. You learn that saying no to what drains you is not selfish, it is self-respect. This does not mean you stop being kind or caring. Islam never teaches cruelty, but it does teach balance. You can be compassionate without being consumed. You can give without emptying yourself. You can love without losing your identity. A woman who understands this walks through life with emotional clarity instead of constant guilt. When you release the pressure of meeting everyone's expectations, your heart becomes lighter, your decisions become calmer, your relationship with Allah becomes stronger because you are no longer distracted by constant people pleasing. You begin to live with intention rather than reaction. And that, my dear sister, is a powerful step toward becoming your best self. 4. Allah uses difficulty to refine you, not to punish you. My dear sister, many women silently believe that if life becomes difficult, something must be wrong with them. When hardships come, when plans fall apart, when relationships break, when prayers seem unanswered, a quiet thought enters the heart. Why is Allah doing this to me? This belief slowly turns pain into self-blame and hardship into despair. But Islam teaches us something very different and very comforting. Allah does not use difficulty to punish sincere hearts. He uses it to refine them. Just as fire purifies gold by removing impurities, trials purify the heart by removing illusions, false attachments, and misplaced reliance. Ease often hides weaknesses. Difficulty reveals strength. Allah knows exactly what each soul needs in order to grow closer to Him. When Allah places you in a season of hardship, it is not because you are unworthy of ease. It is because He sees something in you that needs strengthening. Perhaps your patience, perhaps your trust, perhaps your dependence on Him instead of people. Sometimes Allah removes comfort so your heart can finally rest in Him alone. Many of the women you admire for their wisdom, calmness, and depth did not become that way through easy lives. They were shaped through disappointment, loss, rejection, and uncertainty. But instead of becoming bitter, they became anchored. Instead of collapsing, they learned how to stand with Allah. Hardship does not break you unless you believe it has no meaning. When you begin to understand that difficulty is not rejection but redirection, your inner dialogue changes. You stop asking, "Why am I suffering?" and start asking, "What is Allah teaching me here?" That question opens the door to growth. It turns pain into reflection. It transforms fear into trust. This does not mean hardship will feel easy. Islam never denies pain. Even the most beloved servants of Allah cried, struggled, and felt overwhelmed at times. But they trusted Allah's wisdom even when they did not understand His plan. And that trust gave them strength beyond their circumstances. My dear sister, Allah never wastes your pain. Every tear you hide, every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every moment you held on when you wanted to give up, Allah sees it all. He is shaping you into a woman who is spiritually stronger, emotionally wiser, and deeply connected to Him. When difficulty comes, remind yourself gently, this is not punishment, this is preparation. 5. Consistency matters more than perfection. My dear sister, one of the most exhausting beliefs many women carry is the idea that they must be perfect in order to be worthy of Allah's love. You tell yourself that unless your faith is flawless, your routines are disciplined, your prayers are focused, and your heart is always strong, then you are failing. This belief slowly drains your energy and turns worship into pressure instead of peace. But Islam was never meant to be lived this way. Allah did not ask you for perfection. He asked you for sincerity and persistence. Perfection belongs to Allah alone. Human beings are created to struggle, to forget, to fall, and to return. That cycle of returning is not a weakness in your faith. It is the very essence of it. A woman who keeps turning back to Allah, even after weakness, is far closer to Him than a woman who appears perfect but feels distant inside. Many women stop trying altogether because they believe they have already failed. They miss prayers and think, what's the point now? They struggle with consistency and think, I'm not good enough. They compare their worship to others and feel ashamed. But this mindset pushes you away from Allah instead of toward Him. Allah's mercy is not reserved for the flawless. It is open to the sincere who keep coming back. Consistency does not mean doing everything perfectly every day. It means staying connected even when your energy is low. It means making space for Allah even when life feels heavy. Some mornings your prayer will feel calm and focused. Some mornings your mind will wander and your heart will feel tired. Both prayers still count. Both moments still matter. Allah sees effort, not performance. Think of consistency like planting a seed. You water it regularly, even when you do not see immediate growth. Over time, that small effort produces roots, strength, and stability. In the same way, small acts done consistently shape your soul. A short dua every morning, a few moments of remembrance, a sincere intention to be better than yesterday. These quiet actions slowly transform you from the inside. Perfectionism, on the other hand, often leads to burnout. When you expect yourself to always be spiritually strong, emotionally stable, and disciplined, you become harsh with yourself. You turn growth into self-criticism. You start measuring your worth by your lowest moments. Islam does not teach this cruelty toward the self. Allah is gentle with His servants. He does not rush their growth. He does not shame them for struggling. My dear sister, even if you fall 100 times, what matters is that you stand up again and turn to Allah. Even if you feel weak, your return is beloved. Even if your worship feels small, your sincerity makes it heavy in value. Allah loves the servant who keeps coming back, not the one who never stumbles. When you release the pressure of perfection, something beautiful happens. Worship becomes lighter. Growth becomes sustainable. You stop quitting because you messed up and start continuing because you trust Allah's mercy. You learn to speak to yourself with kindness instead of judgment. You understand that progress is not linear, and that is okay. Consistency builds resilience. It builds a relationship with Allah that can survive busy days, emotional lows, and moments of doubt. It teaches you that being close to Allah is not about being impressive, it is about being present. When you choose consistency over perfection, you allow Allah to work on your heart gently, steadily, and with wisdom. So every morning, remind yourself of this truth. You do not need to be perfect to grow. You only need to keep going, keep returning, keep trusting. Allah is not measuring how flawless you are. He is looking at how sincerely you turn to Him again and again. 6. Your best self is the one closest to Allah. My dear sister, the world speaks loudly about becoming your best version. It tells you that your best self is the most productive, the most admired, the most confident, the most independent, or the most accomplished. It pushes you to constantly upgrade, compare, and prove. And while growth is important, this definition often leaves women feeling empty, anxious, and never enough. Because no matter how much you achieve, there is always someone doing more, looking better, or receiving more attention. Islam offers a completely different and deeply comforting definition. Your best self is not the one who impresses people. Your best self is the one who is closest to Allah. Because closeness to Allah brings peace that success cannot give, stability that praise cannot guarantee, and strength that circumstances cannot take away. When Allah is at the center of your life, everything else begins to fall into its proper place. Your goals become clearer, not louder. Your ambitions become purposeful, not exhausting. You stop chasing what drains you and start choosing what nourishes your soul. This is the difference between worldly improvement and spiritual growth. One feeds the ego, the other feeds the heart. A woman who is close to Allah does not need constant validation. She does not panic when plans change or when people leave. She understands that her security does not come from control, but from trust. When something goes wrong, she turns inward instead of outward. She asks Allah before she asks the world. She seeks guidance before she seeks approval. Closeness to Allah does not mean a life without problems. It means a heart that knows where to turn when problems arise. It means you cry, but you do not collapse. You struggle, but you do not lose hope. You feel pain, but you are not consumed by it. Allah becomes your anchor in every emotional storm. Many women believe that being close to Allah requires a dramatic transformation or a perfect religious routine. But closeness is built through small, sincere moments. It is built when you whisper Allah's name, when you feel overwhelmed, when you pause before reacting and remember Him, when you choose patience over impulse, when you forgive even when it hurts, when you trust His timing even when you do not understand it. This closeness slowly reshapes who you are. Your reactions become calmer because your heart feels safe. Your boundaries become stronger because your self-worth is rooted in faith. Your confidence becomes quiet because it does not need to announce itself. You stop proving yourself to people because you know Allah sees you fully, your effort, your struggle, your sincerity. A woman close to Allah measures success differently. Success is not how much attention she receives, but how much peace she feels. It is not how perfect her life looks, but how steady her heart remains during difficulty. It is not how praised she is, but how sincere she stays when no one is watching. This is why the woman closest to Allah often appears calm even when life is chaotic. She may face the same struggles as everyone else, but her inner world is different. She trusts that nothing reaches her without Allah's permission. She believes that what missed her was never meant for her. She understands that delays are not denials, and losses are not always failures. When you aim to become closer to Allah, self-improvement becomes gentle instead of harsh. You stop forcing change and start allowing transformation. You grow without rushing. You heal without denying your pain. You improve without losing compassion for yourself. Allah does not rush His servants, and He does not measure growth by speed. My dear sister, your best self is not found by running away from who you are. It is found by returning to Allah again and again, in moments of strength and moments of weakness, in joy and in disappointment, in clarity and in confusion. Every return brings you closer. Every sincere intention elevates you. So every morning, before the world tells you who to be, remind yourself of this truth. Your best self is not the loudest, the busiest, or the most admired. Your best self is the one whose heart is connected to Allah, the one who trusts Him, the one who walks with Him through every season of life. When Allah is your priority, you do not lose yourself, you finally find yourself. And that, my dear sister, is the highest form of self-improvement. My dear sister, as you come to the end of these reminders, I want you to understand something deeply comforting. Becoming your best self is not a race. It is not a competition. And it is not about transforming overnight into someone you barely recognize. It is a quiet, lifelong journey of returning to Allah with sincerity, humility, and trust. Every truth you listened to today was not meant to pressure you, it was meant to free you. Free you from seeking worth in people. Free you from carrying expectations that exhaust your soul. Free you from believing hardship is a punishment. Free you from the lie that you must be perfect to be loved. And free you from chasing a version of yourself the world designed instead of the one Allah intended. Some days you will feel strong, focused, and hopeful. Other days you will feel tired, confused, or emotionally heavy. Both days are part of your growth. Allah does not abandon you in weakness, and He does not love you only in strength. He is with you in every step, especially the quiet ones no one else sees. When you wake up each morning, remind yourself gently, I am growing at the pace Allah knows is best for me. I am allowed to learn. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to heal. My worth is secure. My heart is guided. My path is written with wisdom. Do not underestimate the power of small, sincere changes made consistently with Allah. A calm heart, a trusting dua, a conscious choice to align your life with Him. Over time, these small moments shape a woman who is grounded, resilient, and deeply at peace. May Allah make you a woman whose heart is firm in faith, whose soul is calm in difficulty, and whose life reflects His mercy. May He guide you every morning, strengthen you through every challenge, and lead you gently toward the best version of yourself, the one closest to Him. Amen.